Don Ringgold, nutritionist and professional healer for over 30 years, here to talk about his new book coming out and to tell us how we can live a healthier and disease-free life. Welcome to the show, Don.
Oh, well, thank you, and I really appreciate being on your show, Yvonne. It's quite an honor. Thank you so much.
And thank you very much for joining us. Don, I know everyone is wondering, what is a professional healer? Can you give us a definition of that?
One who is an assistant to help anyone to heal themselves of disease.
And you also call yourself a communicator.
Yes. Actually, I think it's a very essential part of healing where we actually communicate with that inner aspect of self. And it's really the inner self teaches the outer self. And I'm saying inner self for the reason that we already have all of the healing mechanism within our being. If, for instance, we cut ourselves by accident or however that might happen, the blood will coagulate. Mm-hmm. And that is mind. The mind of creation already has given us the ability to heal ourselves. So if we really learn to communicate with that aspect of mind, we can heal ourselves and maintain a healed life and a whole way of being as long as we live.
Well, the question is, how do you communicate with yourself?
I think that the first step is to recognize that just by breathing, that is the mind of creation communicating to us that we can bring harmony from chaos. So I think the easiest way to say that or to answer your question is meditation, is to go within and just relax even. Meditation would be my answer to you. But that's finding the center of yourself. And essentially that can be done by relaxing. One can call it contemplation or concentration, but essentially it's relaxing. And in other ways, you can visualize yourself being healed if you are if you have a dis-ease, and there are various degrees of dis-ease, as we all can recognize.
So in other words, when you meditate, you can visualize what you want. Because I thought meditation was actually just putting everything out of your mind or being aware of your surroundings. But you're saying actually meditation could be also concentrating on what you need and want.
Yes, I think you made a good point. Putting everything out of your mind is an aspect of meditation. As a matter of fact, certainly we have our objective senses. Those, seeing, tasting, smelling, feeling, hearing, those objective senses are safeguards, actually. So we're going to be affected. There might be sounds, there might be various things, smells or whatever, but we don't have to let those factors take our focus away from the center of ourself. And in fact, we can visualize ourselves and see ourselves. And in doing that, those things that might bother or cause our objective senses to notice them, we can just, as you said earlier, throw those things out of our mind. So that, in a way, it's a lot like what we might call an outpouring of all those things, those busy things that might take us away from finding that center of ourselves. And once we've done that, it allows the indrawing of that energy that can heal us. That energy can rejuvenate, can regenerate, and in that way we are rehabilitating ourselves. So remember the point, a man is as he thinks.
That's right.
And so, yes, it's so important to clear the mind, and that's finding the harmony. Creation has given us an example that how we can eliminate chaos and bring in harmony. Another word is the harmonium. So yes, we get rid of all of the debris in our minds. That is how we heal. We bring in that assistant because, in fact, the healer is in our heart. We are already healed.
So actually, you're getting rid of the chaos in your mind and also your body.
Exactly. It's like the key. The thought process is the key. And then we continue to open the door and, in fact, open the degrees of awareness and understanding, because that's truly communication. Actually, communication can be defined as ideas, the transmission of ideas between people and places, actually. And so the communicator is an assistant to help the person to find that transmission of ideas, and the idea of the fact that we have the physician in our heart. Our attunement with that physician will release the debris from our minds and from our physical being.
Now, how exactly do you do a cleanse for your body?
I think the first thing, as we've already stated, is the thoughts, or are the thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing, when we talk about the physical approach to the subject, we look at what we're doing in terms of those things that we consume that are not produced by Mother Nature. And we take a slow process and eliminate those things.
Now, give us an example of what those things are.
Those things that were not made by Mother Nature. And, I don't want to necessarily indict any particular product, anything other than fruits and green leafy vegetables and starchless vegetables. Then we want to examine the degree of mucus that it will produce.
Now, Don, how often do you suggest doing a cleanse diet?
Okay. Now, if a person never wants to get sick, then I would suggest they do it every day. If a person is willing, or, if it's okay with them to get sick maybe with a cold once or twice a year, then they might consider resting on the path, so to speak. In other words, they could eat some things that might be not living or denatured, so to speak. In other words, they might eat some refined foods or something like that. Everyone probably remembers Back to Eden by Jethro Klaus, and one of the points that he made was when people were consuming fruits and vegetables, and more specifically fruits, green leaf vegetables, and starchless vegetables, that means we bake a potato or we steam corn. When they were eating ideally like that, they lived to be 900 in our years.
Do you think that we could live to be 900? Because if we can, I'm going to tell you, I'm going on this diet today.
Then come on with it, because today, the only time we have is now. And I do believe that, one thing that I can say for sure, that when we consume the fruits and starchless green leafy vegetables, you can live without disease.
Tell us when the book's going to be available and where can we buy it?
Okay. My website is donringgold.com. And we have a CD right now. The CD is available right now, and I suggest that a person listens to that. It's a good foundation. And we have a discourse.
And that's all available through the website?
Yes, that's all available right now. I could give you my phone number if anyone wants to call me, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, 215-605-8550.
Great.
That's 215-605-8550.
Well, Don, thank you so much for being on the show. That was very interesting.
It is, again, an honor, Yvonne Kandi, and I consider it a great blessing, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
Thank you.